that, man. Being able to share tabs just feels so good. I don't know what it is. I don't like that. Let me put this back on the side. Put this back on the side. All right. So here we go. And now if we scroll down, so on the 12th was the letter motion for discovery unopposed request to issue subpoena by Alyssa Mercante. That was the discovery for the Discords and stuff. And then on the 18th, order granting 39 motion for third-party subpoena, so ordered by Magistrate Judge Laura K. Eskenazi. Right? So basically what they were saying is because Alyssa and her lawyers couldn't necessarily reach those people. Like, they don't know who's on Smash's Discord, right? They don't have access to all that. Smash has access to those records. So they're basically saying they were putting it on Smash to deliver the subpoenas to the people in his Discord and stuff, right, for that information. And he agreed. It's a standard procedure. So, but now, December 19th, we got the motion to compel communications with New York-based content creators, including, but not limited to, Hypnotic, Toasty with the Mosty, Rev Says Desu. So we got 5 different attachments plus a main document. And boy.
Lots of zero names are being mentioned.
All right, so this is Honorable Laura Eshkenazi as the judge. In reply to Mercante versus Targia, right? It says, Dear Judge E, as the court may recall, my firm with co-counsel represents plaintiff in the case above. Pursuant to the court's Rule 3B, I write to move to compel discovery. As of today, despite plaintiff serving documents request in August, defendant has produced a grand total of 2 documents. Oof. So back in August, remember we were talking about how there was all kind of agreements and they were agreeing on the preliminary discovery and everything, right? And so Alyssa sent things over to Smash in August, and then Smash has not answered the things that he was supposed to. It says total of 2 documents. While that continuing failure remains, in light of the need to extend jurisdictional discovery deadlines once already, and in an effort to get things moving, this motion narrowly addresses a subset of documents, namely, as Judge Brody directed for jurisdictional purposes, documents that go to, quote, the extent of defendant's relationship with New York-based content creators, including, but not limited to, Hypnotic, Toasty with the Mosty, and Rev Says Desu. Says, defendant has made clear, even as he plans at some point to cure the lack of meaningful production, he intends to only produce a, quote, very limited subset of communications with New York-based content creators, including, but not limited to, Hypnotic, Toasty, and Rev. Limited, as we understand it, to those that specifically discuss things like physical visits to New York. Accordingly, this motion follows. So Smash is trying to weasel his way out of producing documents that could incriminate him and his associates, right?
Right.
Sturgis
is going to be there 100%.
Documents, photos, evidence. Remember, these channels are verified on YouTube. Their YouTube info are legit, Lamau. Yeah, so Smash, by his trying to limit it, he's trying to be like, well, I don't know if they live in New York, and they didn't say anything about being in New York, so I guess I don't have to give it to these people, right? So it says, a plaintiff has served 2 different sets of discovery requests attached hereto as exhibits 1 through and 2. Defendant has responded to both with those responses attached hereto as exhibits 3, 4. Respectfully, the initial responses responding to the initial request and the supplemental responses responding to the supplemental request. As agreed by the parties, the initial requests were temporarily narrowed to only include jurisdictional discovery issues since they were issued before ECF number 37. For context, in ECF 37, the court directed jurisdictional discovery to focus on 4 subjects. 1. Defendant SmashJT's website interactivity and business conducted within New York and with New York residents. So again, they want to know how much business the website does with the people of New York, right? Is there a substantial amount of business being done through the website in regards to New York? Smash, I think he sells things on the website, like merchandise stuff, right?
Merchandising.
So I would assume they're trying to include, like, if someone from New York, say, bought a SmashJT shirt, would that would count as commerce within New York, right? Again, in my opinion, all very tenuous, all very like bad, just bad overall. Like, this should not be allowed, right? But the judge is willing to hear the argument. I guess if there is enough people that have bought merchandise or memberships or whatever subscriptions to the website through New York, the judge might go, well,
Big trouble.
Did business here, right?
Apparently, he sells tea, just like quartering sells.
No,
coffee.
quartering sells coffee.
Yeah,
He smells
Coffee
He
brand
sells
coffee.
tea.
he sells Smash J's tea.
Yeah, see,
Gay.
get it?
Yeah.
Tea.
How
Get it?
big is his Discord server? I have no fucking clue. But I would imagine his YouTube channel has what, like 50,000, 100,000, something like that on
Yeah,
YouTube?
don't forget he has a bunch of orbiters, including Sturgis. So
Yeah, I would imagine there's probably at least 1,000 people. That's like a super conservative
right,
estimate, right? Because you got to remember, there's going to be the people in there that are SmashJT's friends. There's going to be people in there that are like SmashJT's fans. There's going to be people that might be like Hypnotic fans or other people that maybe know of Smash through other means, right? In there to support him. So the more the judge thinks JT is screwing with the court, the more the other side might get away with. That is also true.
yes, he's not helping his own case by doing all these shenanigans and hibbity-jibbity.
Yeah. All right. So the second thing is defendants' revenue generated through the SmashJT website in terms of subscriptions from New York residents. Number 3, the extent of defendants' relationship with New York-based content creators. Number 4, any further connections defendant, the SmashJT website, the SmashJT Twitter, and the SmashJT YouTube have with New York and New York residents. It says, before getting responses, plaintiff followed up repeatedly, including in emails articulating specific deficiencies, and even as served across those responses, defendant produced only 2 documents. Oh, this is so bad. Because, okay, what they're saying here is, he was served paperwork, and then they followed up that paperwork with like, hey, have you got that thing ready? Hey, have you got, basically showing that they're actively trying to get the information from Smash, and he's actively not giving them the information, right? Like if they just said, hey, we sent one letter, and now it's like 3 months later, and he never sent us something, the judge might be like, well, you weren't really following up on it. They can understand that maybe Smash forgot about it or there was some extenuating circumstances, right? But the fact that you kept sending him stuff and he kept not giving you the responses means that he's actively trying to not give you the information you're asking for, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that looks real bad.
Big trouble again.
And you talk about screwing with the court. This is because remember, at the end of the day, the court doesn't want to have to deal with this any longer than it needs to, right? Only 2 documents. 1, a spreadsheet covering information about donors to his litigation Give, Send, Go, and a printout of his website's source code. SmashJT sent him the source code for his website. On December 10th, the parties met and conferred for approximately 30 minutes. During that first meet and confer, defendant committed to producing 2015 amendment complaint discovery responses. Accord, Fisher v. Forrest, 2017 U.S. District, Lexus, blah, 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 at 2 Sydney, blah, 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 within a few days. Certain information very shortly thereafter, and a meaningful production within about a week, or a later agreed time thereafter. Defendant also asked plaintiff to serve a detailed formal deficiency letter with details about why some of plaintiff's claims that no responsive documents existed were wrong so he could review. So Smash is basically saying, well, you asked for stuff, but those things that you asked for aren't real. I can't get you those things, right? Forgot when his entire internet usage is current news. Yeah. Here's the funniest part, right? Like, we cover this. I don't think anyone else is really going through these documents. I don't think any of his buddies, right? Everyone that was talking about Alyssa Mercante, where are they at talking about the lawsuit? Where are they at going, hey, Smash is failing to give the information they need, right?
Oh, no, they're not going to call him out.
Well, I'm saying it was just like the Eric July shit, right? Eric July is getting sued. Yeah, fuck that. Eric July is going to win, blah, blah, blah. And then documents come out and, like, no one's covering the documents, right? Like, suddenly it's all crickets.
Mm-hmm.
We will win, bud.
Yeah. Says, plaintiff promptly served that letter, a copy of which is attached as Exhibit 5. Thereafter, when a response did not come as agreed on December 17th, plaintiff asked for another meet and confer. The parties met again on December 19th for approximately 20 minutes. At that meet and confer, defendant stated he still intended to make some supplemental production, but that any communications produced would be a, quote, very limited subset of what exists. Even specifically, Hypnotic, Toasty, and Rev. So they're saying we want all your communications with these particular people, right? And Smash is like, well, I'll give you some of them.
He's bargaining.
Yeah. like, sir, that's not how this works. We need all of them. Because here's the reality, right? What you think is relevant and what the opposing counsel thinks is relevant could be two different things, right? You've seen it all the time, the way I get super autistic about the way people say words, or like how you catch something, like, oh, did you catch what he said? And then there could be references, right? There could be references where they don't use Alyssa's name, but they might say something like, oh man, that bitch is going crazy again, right? But then Smash doesn't include that because, well, it doesn't have Alyssa's name. So you don't know that that's who he was talking about, but that should be up to the other counsel.
Sometimes the laughing emoji is enough.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, he's trying to, like, limit what they're getting so he can frame it a certain way, and so he can, like, see, I didn't do the thing, or I didn't say the thing in private, right? Because there's probably a whole bunch of shit in private that he's saying about this case and about other things. Hell, he might be talking shit about the judge.
That's what he's afraid of. You never know.
Hey, it's Retro Boy. He says, hey there. Hey, everyone. Didn't see you coming. Yeah. I'm going to tell that to the IRS when they come knocking on my inbox. I'll just give the IRS some of their requested info. But, Tony, there's nothing spicy there. Yeah.
Nothing at all.
It says, defendant... wait, I'm not here. Hold on. I'm over here. Sorry. Accordingly, the parties agreed they were at an impasse, and to keep jurisdictional discovery moving, in light of the need to already extend the deadline once, this motion should be made without further delay. Thus, plaintiff now moves to compel. So basically, they're saying, we are asking for information. He is refusing to give it to us. Now we need the judge to step in and order it so that way he can stop fucking around, right? It says, In its decision directing jurisdictional discovery, the court found that the plaintiff has pleaded a sufficient start to establishing personal jurisdiction, specifically with regards to ... and defendant's New York-based contacts. And the reason the court did not find jurisdiction on this front outright is because plaintiff's allegations that defendant has knowingly used and directed New York-based agents to amplify his statements is conclusory and is insufficient to establish. One, because Exhibit 5 includes content from a document designated confidential. That content is redacted. That content is not relevant to the substance of the motion. And as agreed at the second meeting based on these redactions, neither party seeks to file a non-redacted version under seal. Basically, Alyssa is saying that at some point, Smash in a conversation with, because we know how this stuff works, right? Like, we're not stupid, okay? TJ, Autoy, you know this firsthand. I'll go into the DM group and be like, hey guys, retweet this, right?
Right.
And so it'd be like, hey, if I'm going like, hey, I'm going to be on a show with JJ, like, hey, retweet this, right? And so I can 100% guarantee there was at least situations where Smash is like, hey guys, can you retweet this? Or hey, can you make sure you let your audience know about this? Or hey, could you talk about this thing, right? And if it's in regards to the court case or Alyssa Mercante in particular, that's what they want to know. And that's what Smash is refusing to let them find out, right? Yeah. Says, isn't this why most people stay quiet when being sued? I mean, he's been making a spectacle of it. I can see how he easily have dug himself into a hole.
Yes, it's all his fault. All he does is double down and put himself into trouble.
A conspiracy to commit nerd shit. Yeah. Essentially, that's what it is. So, all right. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go into those documents and see what they are. So, attachment 1 is the initial request. So this is what they requested initially. So these are the instructions. Furnish all information available to you, including information in the possession, custody, or control of your attorneys, accountants, investigators, experts, representatives, or other agents. 2, if you claim any ambiguity, vagueness, or overbreadth in interpreting an interrogatory or any applicable definition or instruction, respond to the portion you deem appropriately specific and broad, and set forth in a part of your written response the specific language you deem to be vague or ambiguous or overbroad.
Hibbity-jibbity.
I love legal documents because they have to like reiterate and say things and like be super redundant to make sure that like there's no room for
leeway. There's no weaseling your way out.
If the answer to all or any part of this interrogatory, whatever that is not presently known or available.
Interrogation, it is.
Shut up, TJ. Include a statement to that effect and furnish any information currently known or available and a description of the source of information that was once known or available, which could have been used to respond to the questions. 4, produce all documents described in their entirety, along with any attachments, drafts, and non-identical copies. 5, if any responsive document has been lost, destroyed, or is otherwise unavailable, provide A, the names and titles of the persons who search for the document, a statement of the specific efforts made by that person to locate the document and the location searched, a statement upon actual knowledge or upon information and belief concerning what happened to the documents. Basically, this is saying that if you're going to claim that the documents are missing, destroyed, burned in a fire, we want to know when the fire was, how hot the fire was, and how long it fucking burned, okay? Because we're not believing any of your shit. Is what this essentially is saying.
Yep. Zero hibbity-jibbity allowed.
You're saying Smash has no credibility? What?
Yeah. It says 6, if you withhold any documents or information by reason of a claim of privilege, state with specificity the information required by local civil rule 26. Assertions of privilege made without an appropriately fulsome statement pursuant to local civil 26 will be considered non-responsive. So what they're saying is if you're going to claim this is privileged information, you better have a valid fucking reason for that. You just can't fucking declare bankruptcy, okay? You can't just go, I declare privilege. It's not going to work.
There's no
That's
escape.
one of the best episodes of The Office where, like, you can't just say bankruptcy. He's like, I didn't say it. I declared it. All right. 7. Pursuant to Federal R. Civ P 33, the interrogatories must be answered by the party to whom they are directed. In the case of the City of New York, by any officer or agent of the City of New York, each must be answered separately and fully in writing under oath, and the person who makes the answers must sign them. These requests are continuing. If at any time after service of answers hereto and prior to the trial of this action, defendant obtained or became aware of additional information pertaining to any of these requests, the disclosure of which may be required pursuant to Rule 26 of Federal Rules, defendant shall, within 30 days and in no event later than 5 days before trial, serve upon the undersigned supplemental sworn written answers setting forth such additional information. What this is saying is essentially, if after he submits information to them, if new information comes to light, he has 30 days to get it to them, but it has to be at least 5 days before the trial. So between, depending on when he learns the information, right? Any questions so far? I know I'm reading a lot of legal hibbity-jibbity.
I'm trying to follow along. So far, so good, I think.
Retro Bro says, I don't think he's too optimistic. In my opinion, he can't continue to pay Ron unless he wants to bankrupt himself, which is probably what this is meant. Slow down, man. Type normal
thing. Yeah.
What this entire thing is meant to do. Alyssa's lawyers are working for free.
Oh, yeah.
He should just married all of his co-conspirators.
Okay, there you go.
Look, I turned Mormon and just married everybody, okay? Smash wanted Rule 34, and he ended up with Rule 26. I don't know what that means. I am not a pervert like the rest of you guys.
You might end up becoming a Rule 36. Who knows?
As long as that Rule 6-7.
And it says 9, to the extent any request is overlapping, defendant may simply identify where the requested information has already been produced by Bates number. All right, so that's basically what they requested, right? And so let's see what Smash replied. So these are the initial response would be 3, right? So this is Smash's initial response. Responses and objections to request for production. Okay. 1, please provide copies of all documents identified in response to the operative interrogatories. Response: subject to the objections set forth in the respective interrogatories, the requested documents are served herewith. Okay, so that he gave them that. Number 2, deferred. Number 3, deferred. Number 4, deferred. Smash. You can't just say deferred on everything, buddy.
No, that's deferred.
Number 5, please provide full resolution video of all YouTube shorts, reels, streams, or other online video communications that have featured Jeff Targia concerning Alyssa Mercante or the subject of the lawsuit as concerns discoverable information bearing on personal jurisdiction. So they want every stream, video, YouTube, short, reel, fucking Instagram
everything.
Shit, any video footage of Smash talking about Alyssa or the lawsuit, they want it.
And he made AI videos of the judge, remember? Oh, boy.
Oof.
Imagine if the judge sees that.
His response: defendant discussed the issue of jurisdiction in a live stream located at blah, blah, blah. He has also alluded to or discussed his residence in the state of California and other uploads too numerous to list, and regarding which searching and collection would be unduly broad and unreasonably burdensome. And he objects to any suggestion that he's required under the applicable rules to produce such information. So Smash is refusing to give... and remember, when you do YouTube, you could just go... It's real simple, guys. I don't understand. Like in YouTube, I don't know how Instagram works, but in YouTube, you can just go to your back end, go to your video, and hit download. Right? He can just download all the videos where he talked about it. I mean, because Smash, they're all labeled. Fucking Alyssa Mercante is a bitch. Alyssa Mercante is still a bitch. Did I tell you Alyssa Mercante is a bitch? Right? Just download the videos and fucking give them to him. It's the lawyers. This is discovery. This is part of the discovery process. All right. Number 6 was deferred. Number 7, please provide documents. This is the best one. Please provide documents concerning Kiwi Farms, including especially communications between you and any member of Kiwi Farms, as concerns discoverable information bearing on personal jurisdiction. Response: defendant neither possesses nor controls custody of any responsive documents. Smash, you don't have any, so you've never been on Kiwi Farms? You never talked to a single person from Kiwi Farms?
You never A-logged and shit over there?
Come on,
Kiwi
Smash.
Let's be real, yeah.
Number 8, deferred. Number 9, please provide all records of financial transactions from Give, Send, Go that concern the lawsuit, as concerns discoverable information bearing on personal jurisdiction. Response: responsive documents designated as confidential are served herewith. Number 10, please provide all records of income from your YouTube channel from March 1st, 2024 to present, as concerns discoverable information bearing on personal jurisdiction. Response: defendant neither possesses nor controls custody of any responsive documents because YouTube does not provide user with a breakdown of income by state of origin. So Smash is saying, well, I don't know who's giving me the money or where, right? Which, yes, YouTube just pays you, right? YouTube gives you money. But, and I don't know, Alyssa probably knows this, right? You have a list of who your members are, of who your memberships are. So he could at least provide a list of the memberships, the different people buying memberships, right? And be like, here are their YouTube handles. I don't know where they live. It says, please provide all records of income from SmashJT website from March 1st to present. Response: defendant neither possesses nor controls custody of any responsive documents. Smash, smash, smash. You are trying to tell me that you have not sold a single product from the SmashJT website, and that product was sent to New York, and you don't know this? You don't have this information? I know for a fact, like on Fourth Wall, it tells me where the stuff is going to, right? Because you obviously have to know where it's being sent to for the taxes and all the other things that you're doing, right? The shipping costs and everything. Smash got his lawyer from the firm of Deferred.
It's all deferred. Follow the money. Que bono, that's what they say. Who benefits?
Yeah, so I'm on the Smash website right now. He has T-shirts, hoodies, mugs. You 100% know where this stuff is going, right?
Yeah.
Because again, you have to sell it. You have to send it out. It has to be shipped from. You get a breakdown from whatever company you're using. They go, hey, this one here, we charge them X amount for shipping. Blah blah blah. Here's what you made, right? Like I can go to Fourth Wall right now. I have the. That's why people are like, oh, don't buy from Tony. He's gonna have your address, right? 12. Please provide all documents concerning paywall revenue concerning the SmashJT website with sufficient information to determine the state from which any revenue originated. Response: defendant neither possesses nor controls custody of any responsive documents and is unaware of whether or not the payment processor collects such information. Smash, you lying piece of shit. You have to send those products out from paywall. Do you think that the company doesn't know where they're sending their products?
This goes out willy-nilly. Who knows?
I mean, they might not know who's paying for it. You know, you can make the argument that I bought the product. I live in Chicago, but I sent it to Autoy in Jamaica, right? But you have, at the very least, you know it went to Jamaica, right?
Jamaica, we have a bobsled team.
Eddie, man.
Bama shit.
Shit.
As someone who is unbiased, this seems like desperate attempt for her lawyers to determine jurisdiction. Retro Bro, first off, you're not unbiased. Secondly, this is what the whole thing is about right now. Literally, see, this is what I love when people have no fucking clue what's going on, and then they comment things because it just aggravates the shit out of me. So, bro, right now, Smash is trying to get the lawsuit dismissed on jurisdictional grounds. An argument has been made that SmashJT does commerce within New York based on his website and other things. Alyssa does not have access to those files because they are on Smash's end. The court has ordered jurisdictional discovery, allowing Alyssa to essentially ask SmashJT to send her specific records in regards to that matter. This is what it's about. It's not an attempt. It's not a desperate attempt. It is literally an attempt. It is literally what the court has ordered to happen. So the court can make a judgment whether or not there is jurisdictional grounds, right? You can't just go, I don't do business in New York. And the judge goes, well, he said he doesn't do business in New York. I guess that's it.
You need proof. You need receipts.
I'm not unbiased at all, bro. I never claimed to be unbiased in this. I think SmashJT is a piece of shit. I think Alyssa's a piece of shit. I'm biased towards the law. I am 100% on the side of the law. And so I don't give a fuck who wins or loses. I give a fuck whether or not the law is upheld and if it is properly being fucking argued, right? That's where my bias lies. I agree, but claiming its jurisdiction because a member may be in New York is kind of a reach. Yeah, no shit. That's literally what I said about 20 minutes ago. I literally said that 20 minutes ago. But that is the argument that she made, and that's the argument that the judge and the court is going with. Therefore, you have to play by the rules. If you go to court and you go, hey, I'm not doing business in New York, and they go, well, we think you are because you have members that might live in New York, and the court goes, hey, that's a good point. Smash, maybe provide records to see if there's anyone in New York as a member. That's it. That's the rule. You can't argue with it, right? I wasn't here 20 minutes ago. It's not my fault.
That's the problem.
I've literally every single time we've talked about this, I've literally said I think this is a fucking reach. It's tenuous, and I don't want it to go through. I don't like Smash. I want him to lose,
precedent,
I don't want this precedent to be set. Sanka, you dead? I get that reference. That's Cool Runnings. Did you know that whole movie's a lie? I found that out recently. That Cool Runnings is a lie.
No.
Yeah. They actually like the whole idea of this is the first Jamaican bobsled team, and they're they don't know what ice looks like and shit. All that's Disney propaganda.
Exaggerated.
Yeah, that's some hibbity-jibbity for sure.
But apparently they've had bobsled teams. They didn't even because if you watch the movie, it makes it seem like the Jamaican bobsled team, if the bobsled didn't break down, they would have won gold, right? No, that's
well, no, they did terrible. But the first one was in '88. I remember when it happened. It was great. Everyone was so psyched about it that they were going to do it. You know?
Yeah, the whole thing with the racism and how people were oh, Jamaicans want a bobsled. They said it's actually in reality the exact opposite. People are oh shit, Jamaicans want a bobsled. That's cool,
dude. Everyone loved it. There was a hit song about it and everything. It was great. Everyone had T-shirts and there was Jamaica everywhere. It was great.
Jamaica fever. It says, please provide all records of any income from any source from March 1st to present as concerns discoverable information bearing on personal jurisdiction. Response. Defendant objects to this request on the grounds that it is not calculated to lead to discovery of admissible evidence as concerns discoverable information bearing on personal jurisdiction. This seems like some hibbity-jibbity here, Smash. So basically, Alyssa's saying, if you got any other source of income, we would like that information, and we'd like to know where that income's coming from, right? Now, Smash is saying, hey, it's not going to be, there's not going to be admissible evidence, so it's not we object to that, right? Well, this is almost like an admission that he is getting some other income, and B, it feels like quite possibly that he's getting income from somewhere that might be based in New York, whether it's from Hypnotic and them giving him money, behind the scenes or something, right? Because if they asked me, hey, we want any other sources of income, I'd be like, I have no other sources of income. I'm not getting any, right? That seems like to be a normal response, but he's basically like, no. So it feels like he might have some business relationship that might be tangentially related to New York, right?
It's in big trouble again.
14. Please provide all written and electronic communications between you and any persons who have consulted with you regarding your social media presence and strategy as concerns 1, Mercante, 2, and Kotaku, and 3, the lawsuit, as concerns discoverable information bearing on personal jurisdiction. Response. Defendant neither possesses nor controls custody of any responsive documents.
Really? No.
What?
Come on.
Smash. You don't have emails with people. He's saying, remember, he's not saying that these things don't exist. He's not saying, hey, I've never talked about the lawsuit or Alyssa or with anybody. He's saying I don't have them. I can't provide you with them because I can't get my hands on them. Smash, you have access to your own Twitter. You can download Twitter. Twitter has a feature where you can download your entire fucking data from Twitter, which would include all your DMs with all the people that they need DMs from, right? Your emails can easily be downloaded, right? Your text messages, if you have a phone, you can contact your phone company and they can provide you with all your text messages in a nice downloadable format, right? Because I know this because I had text messages that I had to download because of when I was getting divorced, right? And my ex-wife was sending me all sort of harassing text messages, right? So I had to have them ready. So like, hey, this is my ex-wife talking shit to me while we're getting divorced and saying all kind of horrible things while I'm not, right?
Bingo Sorrowin, yeah. That's exactly why he's hiding this shit.
He doesn't want them to see the information, so it must be bad. Social media have been getting people arrested for 2 decades. Did you see there's a case where a fucking drug dealer got arrested for he posted a picture of cheese. He was holding like a little wedge of cheese, right?
Okay.
And he said, hey, look, I got this cheese. I love this cheese. This is the greatest cheese ever. Hey, look at this cheese. I love this cheese. So he took a picture and put it onto like Twitter or something, right? He got arrested. Do you know what he got arrested for?
No.
Drug dealing.
Okay.
I know. The obvious question is how is a picture of him holding cheese get him arrested for dealing drugs? Was there drugs in the cheese? Was cheese a code for drugs?
Right.
No. Actually, they found out that it was his picture, right? So like they like, oh, this is Bill. Bill's posting a picture of cheese. He's holding it. they enhanced, they looked at his fucking fingerprints in the picture and then matched them up to fingerprints to a crime scene and arrested him.
Shit.
Guys, do not show your hands on social media, okay?
Yes. It's the advice for today. You know, that's the moral of the story.
Wow.
I got 504s for rent. I don't know. I agree with Sora when he has been loudmouth about it publicly, so I can't imagine what he said behind the scenes. Yeah. Either way, that's crazy. Don't post your fingers. Also, SmashJT communicates through carrier pigeon. That's what it is. So, guys, it's only carrier pigeons. I definitely don't have those still. All right. 16 deferred, 17 deferred, 18. Please provide all documents concerning the subject matter of your counsel's disclosed advice and disclosed opinion that, quote, he felt like there was something greater at play here and that they, quote, they have nothing here. SmashJT live Black Girl Gamers on the attack, ... again. YouTube, as concerns discoverable information bearing on personal jurisdiction. Woo! You know what this is?
What's this about?
So, SmashJT on this stream, SmashJT, JT Live, Black Girl Gamers on the attack again. He basically said that my lawyer has the opinion that there's something greater at play. Basically, SmashJT went on a live stream and claimed that his lawyer told him that there was actually a bigger thing at play, that, you know, Alyssa wasn't suing him over the fact that he, you know, made statements that were defamatory. No, that there was, you know, a secret conspiracy, a cabal, if you will, trying to get at Smash, right? So basically, they're like, hey, you know all that shit you were talking on live stream? Now we want to know what it was, right? You claimed that you had information, secret information about what's really going on and why we're really suing you. So we'd like that secret information.
Oh. Loudmouth again, like Retro Rose said.
Response: defendant objects to this request on the ground that it seeks protected confidential attorney-client communications. This is up in the air, I believe. The judge could agree with him that it is attorney-client confidential information, but the judge could also rule on a limited basis that this very particular information, right? Because this is not like, hey, we're going to do this. Here's our defensive strategy, or here's, like, you know, me just talking to you about things, right? This is like you made public statements claiming that your lawyer has an opinion that there's greater things at play and that they have nothing here and yada, yada, yada. So we that information might be pertinent to what's going on, right? Like if you're claiming that there's a conspiracy or something, we need to know, right?
Yeah.
Because that, again, maybe they're going to have to sue Ron for making defamatory statements. So deferred. And responses and objections to it says deferred. 4, identify all persons whom you have hosted on your YouTube channel to discuss Alyssa. Response: Sean Martin, Kenny Atreus, Ronald Coleman, counsel for the defense. He had Ron Coleman come on to talk about Alyssa.
Jesus. Wait, is this the same Atreus we know?
Yes.
That guy? Oh, God. All these people, all their names are going to show up. Sturgis is going to be there one of these days.
He could have avoided all of this. Well, not all of it. He could have avoided some of it if he would just not have talked about it so much. Again, all of this could have been avoided. When Alyssa sent him a cease and desist, and she said, this very specific thing I would like you to not say anymore because it is defamatory. He just had to not say that thing, right? Yeah, he may have violated privilege posting that shit. Yeah, that's a good point. So 5, identify all persons on whose social media platforms you have appeared where Alyssa Mercante was discussed since March 1st. He said none. SmashJT has claimed that he has been on no one's social media platforms discussing Alyssa Mercante. I call bullshit. I'm sure he's mentioned Alyssa at least once on a Hypnotic stream or someone else's stream that he's been on, right?
Makes sense.
Especially after all these things are coming on or happening, right? He's probably whether even if it's just him going, "Hey, I have this give send go for my legal defense," that would qualify for him talking about the case on someone else's platform, right? 6 is deferred. 7, identify all your monetized videos or social media posts concerning Alyssa Mercante, this litigation or any subject concerning this litigation, and identify the amount, any income from those posts or videos as concerns discoverable information bearing on personal jurisdiction.
Oof.
Response. Defendant objects to this on the grounds that it is unduly broad. I don't think it's unduly broad. I disagree on that one. And unduly burdensome. I believe it is maybe too burdensome because again, he's getting money from like tweets. I don't know. Is he monetized on Twitter? I know he's got a check mark, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's monetized because you can get a check mark without being monetized. But if he's monetized on Twitter, it would be really hard because it's not like YouTube where it's like super chats and stuff, right? But he could have at least provided, the streams and stuff. Say, here are the streams. Here's like the people that super chatted me. Because you can go back to the stream and find that information. It's not hard. Again, I use StreamYards. So on StreamYards, I have it where it automatically stars everybody who sends super chats. And then I can go back to an old stream and it'll still be there, right? That information's still there. And that's an easier way to do it. But even on YouTube, you could just go on YouTube and look because we pull up the super chats and stuff. So it's not hard, or it'll be in the chat itself. I mean, it'll be a pain in the ass. And it's definitely not something that's going to take you 5 minutes, but you're in a lawsuit. That's what it is, buddy. Right? Yeah. Says a plaintiff is aware that defendant has discussed the topics listed on dozens of live streams and many social media posts. It would be unduly burdensome and out of proportion to the value of the discoverable information sought. 8, identify what internal metrics or software you use to track income and profitability from your social media endeavors. Response. Defendant objects to this on the grounds that it is not calculated to lead to discovery of admissible evidence as concerns discoverable information bearing on personal jurisdiction. Without waiver of this objection, defendant states that he's utilized YouTube's data and metrics as well as Social Blade. Well, I know, let me see. Let me go to my back end because I know you can go to your studio, right? And you can go to your content.
Yeah.
And then say I go to videos, right? Videos. So I can go to the analytics on my video. And then I can show audience, right? And then there's a tab which shows where is the location, top geographies, right? And I think that it doesn't break it down any further than United States. I don't think there's a breakdown by state. No, actually, hold on. Audience by cities. There is a breakdown, apparently, by cities.
Oh, shit.
So right now, apparently, but it's only showing on mine. it shows one from Canada. It says 10. I got 10 views from Canada on this stream or this video I'm looking at. But it's not showing any other cities, which is weird. Well, hold on. Let me. Yeah, it's just showing Canada. That's weird. Geography. So yeah, it shows United States, but it doesn't break it down any further than that. Interesting. But I wonder if you could go to the entirety of YouTube, of your views. I know we're like, I'm fucking playing with the back end of YouTube. It's fucking riveting content. I know, guys.
Start spreading the news.
The nudes.
I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York. They want to see that New York.
I'm looking. Can you look on the totality? Top subtitles. Yeah, okay. Top geographies for the entirety of my channel. And if I go to cities, actually, no. Here we go. If you go into your, so I'll show it so you guys know what I'm talking about. StreamYards, share screen, channel analytics. So there it is. So as you can see, it says views by cities.
There it is. Yep.
And so this is advanced mode. This is on the audience tab. So you can go into your back end. There's a analytics tab, and then you go further. There's a sub tab that's like audience. And then you scroll down and it shows the different things like by age, by fucking device, all that stuff. So you go by the geography and you go into the advanced mode so you get the report. And then it shows you. So like Vaughan, Canada, a lot of people from Canada, Spartansburg, Sydney, a lot of people from Sydney, New York, 85 people. Fuck, I'm in the lawsuit with Alyssa. Damn it. Chicago, 73 views. Sollentuna, Sweden, 61. Rhode Island, Houston. The Philippines, Paranagua, Metro Manila, Philippines. That's fucking Music Master. Crown Point, Indiana. Chile, Santiago. That's got to be, what's his name? That's Elliot, right?
Yep.
We're fucking doxing Elliot.
Oh,
look at Elliot.
We got Thailand too. Holy shit!
Yeah, that's how my lady boys are watching from Thailand. So yeah, I mean, it is limited data. I don't think it's all of it because obviously these are not all the views, right? Because 25,000 total views, but clearly this is not 25,000 total views, right?
Right.
But I mean, there is some information there. Even if you're like, hey, I have a limited amount of information. Here's the limited amount, right? So, no Cleveland either. Yeah, I think maybe it has to do with when you go into YouTube and you set your location. I think maybe that's where it's getting the information from. So if you don't set your location on YouTube, it might not have that information to pull, right? Perhaps the Chilean one is Mr. Yanafuni.
Oh.
Again, that's a reach. You could just as easily claim people may be using VPNs. Well, that would be the argument SmashJT would have to make. Just because you still have to provide the information. If they go, hey, we want information, you have to provide it. It is then your responsibility to argue why that information may or may not be correct, right? Like you're making a preemptive argument for not providing information, saying that it might not be accurate before even providing the information. No, honey, if any Retro Bro, I want you to go to your wife. I know you're married, Retro Bro, so I want you to go to your wife and you tell her, you say these exact words. You say, honey, if anyone comes to you and say I'm cheating, they're lying. Okay? If they say they saw me going into a hotel, it was actually someone that just kind of looks like me. It wasn't me. You tell her that, and you see what her response is to that. Okay? If her response is, oh, thanks for letting me know, we're all good, then I'm wrong and you're right. Okay. But if your wife throws you out of the house for saying that and then thinks that you're definitely cheating, then clearly I know what I'm talking about.
Oh, God. Remember when certain YouTubers would tell you that shit?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, if some person says this, she has to be lying. Okay? She's lying.
Yeah. He Smash doesn't have to provide anything unless the judge himself requests it. It seems like Alyssa's lawyers are making this long list of demands, so Judge sees it and says, okay, I need this. No, Retro Bro, I don't know how to tell you this over again. The judge already ruled on jurisdictional discovery. The judge said, Alyssa, go ahead. Request documents from SmashJT for what you need to determine whether or not there is jurisdiction. The judge has so ordered it. This is not happening behind the judge's back. This is not happening on the side of the judge. The judge knows this is happening. The judge has ordered this to happen. This is the procedure for court. Why is it when we're going through court procedures and people are like, well, I don't think that they should be doing this. I don't think those questions should be asked because
we covered it the other day. Like it's done. It's been ordered.
It's been ordered since August. That's why they're like, what the fuck? We
didn't even know, yeah. Until Beefy pointed it out.
Well, why are they asking Smash for information? Well, because that's what the court is. That's what a court process is, sir. God. Defendant states that he utilizes YouTube's data. Well, we've seen YouTube has data and metrics as well as Social Blade, right? 9, 10, and 11 deferred, and then there's Jeff saying that this is definitely my my statement. So of course they had supplemental request. Let's see if we can go just down to the request part. Right. These are instructions. These are definitions. So these are requests. These are the supplemental requests. 24, because in Smashes, I know there's going to be a lot of deferred, and we're not going to know what they were. So 24, all documents concerning your ownership and management of the SmashJT website, including but not limited to documents concerning purchase of the domain, document that shows when you utilize Wix to set up your website, including any documentation for anyone who performed contract or free labor in assisting you in setting up or maintaining the website. 25, a copy of your website's code, including any interactive elements. 26, all documents concerning purchases or uses of the SmashJT website by location, including potentially server logs for the SmashJT site showing, in particular, any users who log in from an IP address located within the state of New York. B, documents concerning which products offered for sale on your website or platform you control that were directed to or shipped to an address in the state of New York. Ooh, this is them getting more specific, like exactly what I said. Yep. 27, server logs for your Discord web server showing, in particular, any users who log in from an IP address located within the state of New York. 28, any document, including bank statements, reflecting payments to or from a New York resident concerning any of your activities on X, YouTube, the SmashJT website, and the like. 29, any tax document filed with a state or federal taxing authority showing income earned from the state of New York. 30, any tax documents filed with a state or federal taxing authority showing business expenses from a company or individual located within the state of New York.
All that New York.
Well, right here, showing business expenses, right? So yeah. This could be, so if SmashJT filed his taxes and he wrote some stuff off, right? Like, let's say he had a lawyer that lived in New York, and so he wrote off the legal fees, right, as a business expense, right? Then that would qualify as doing business within New York, right? So, I mean, hopefully Smash's taxes are all on the up and up, and he hasn't fudged any of the taxes. And God knows it. Hopefully the IRS isn't listening to this, because God knows.
Oh boy,
I would definitely. I fudged a couple of numbers here and there, right? We all do that, right? I'm sure you fudge your taxes a little bit, right, Altoy? Isn't that the American way?
I would never.
Taxation is theft. It is.
Bro, chill. I'm just asking questions. Well, there's stupid questions. You know the idea that there's no stupid questions? That's not true. They're definitely
to be fair, he just arrived here. Like we've been covering this shit for quite a while. Like this is all new lore to him.
Yeah, but he's not asking questions. Look, this is not a question. Where's the question? Show me the question in there. He doesn't have to provide anything. That's not a question. That's a statement. Those are statements you're making that I'm getting annoyed with. If you ask a question, if you said, "Hey, why is Smash providing this?" or "Why does Smash have to provide it?" or "Why is Alyssa asking these things of Smash?" That's a question, and then I can answer that question. When you make a statement, you are now challenging what I'm saying and annoying me. Tony, I don't disagree with you. I'm simply saying it seems. See, now, he went from questions to now saying. You see what I mean? This is why I get annoyed. It seems only one of these things have to hold water for the judge to. Yes, Retro Bro. That's exactly what's going on. That's why she's doing this. That's why the whole thing is happening, to determine jurisdiction, to find the one thing that the judge can go, yep, that's definitely business in New York.
Ties him to New York. That's it. They want that New York.
Because she's suing him in New York. The whole thing is, Smash said, I don't live in New York. You can't sue me in New York. And she's going, well, you do business in New York. And the judge is going, prove it. Smash, provide any information she needs in order to prove or disprove that you do business in New York. Any document filed, but we read that. All documents concerning communications with Kotaku. Oof. Any Smash sending any emails to Kotaku? Sending any go fire Alyssa Mercante stuff? All documents concerning your source of income, including any income from the state of New York. Documents including contracts with any internet service provider, social media website, forum, or any other entity with whom you maintain an account that generates any income, including but not limited to YouTube, Twitch, Discord, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, or otherwise. Documents reflecting any subscription on any platform by another to your content, including but not limited to Wix, YouTube, including Super Chats, Patreon, Twitch, Discord, or any other interactive website from any user with an IP address within the state of New York. Plaintiff's jurisdictional discovery, is another page. 35. To the extent not covered by request 10, all information concerning Super Chat donations. 36. Documents sufficient to show the identity and location of all donors to your Give, Send, Go, GoFundMe, or any other crowdfunding platforms, including any donations or gifts from persons located within the state of New York or who list New York as their state of residence. I still think so. This is how finicky jurisdiction is. Okay, we all know that I live in Chicago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Our mayor, our former mayor, used to be one of Barack Obama's cabinet members. Remember what the hell's his name?
Oh, God. I can picture him in my head, too.
Can't too. I should know this. I literally don't know the mayors. After Daley, once Daley stopped being the mayor, it was like, who the fuck's the mayor? Rahm Emanuel.
Yeah, God damn it.
So Rahm Emanuel was the mayor of Chicago. They argued that Rahm Emanuel shouldn't be allowed to run for mayor in Chicago because he didn't live here, right? Rahm Emanuel argued that he had a residence in Chicago. Now, despite the fact that he didn't live in the residence, despite the fact that his mail was not delivered to the residence, despite the fact that he lived in Washington, D.C., because he worked in Washington, D.C. As part of, Barack's chief of staff, right?
Right.
The judge here in Chicago ruled in his favor and said, well, technically owning that house in Chicago that he doesn't live in, that he doesn't visit, that he doesn't get mail at, that he doesn't have any ties to the community, we're still going to count that. And he was allowed to run and ultimately win the mayorship of Chicago, right? And so all it takes, like if the judge just goes, well, 10 people live in New York and they gave you money and that was a business transaction, we're going to...
There you go.
I'm going to allow it. So I don't agree with it. I was very upset with Rahm Emanuel even being allowed to run, right? But because again, he lived in fucking DC for all those years because fucking he worked. He was the chief of staff, right?
Mm-hmm. Hillary did that here in New York when she ran for senator. Like they were from Arkansas. You know what I mean? And like they didn't have a home anywhere but in the fucking White House. But then they bought a house in New York, so she got to run for senator here. That's bullshit.
Yeah. And bro says, I haven't been following this like you. I've been busy. That's why I'm here. You're always such a hothead. Stop drinking so many monsters. I'm not a hothead. I get annoyed. Okay? Just like how the feds will find anything to link for interstate connections. Yeah, exactly. So... it had to have been better than Lori Lightfoot. Yeah. Yeah, Beetlejuice was pretty bad. Our current mayor is pretty bad. Was it Brandon? Something like that? Mayor Daley, part of the problem is, and now you got me fucking talking about Chicago, right? But part of the problem is Daley sold off all of our parking meters and shit. Remember? And so like a lot of the income, because these idiots were like, oh, well, if we get like a $100,000 today, right? We don't have to worry about like the budget for this year. And so they sold all the fucking income from the parking meters for like the next 100 years or some shit. Some fucking ridiculous thing. And they basically calculated that like the amount of money, the amount of income generated by those parking meters would have, I think it was like $50 million or something like that. It was like over the next 10 years. It was some like really huge, ridiculous fucking sum. Basically, they sold all the income from the parking meters for like a fucking 100th of what they would have gotten.
Jesus.
Just for people parking. So, and I think here's my opinion on this, right? So if the city no longer gets income from the parking meters, right? How can it be illegal to not park there, right? Like a parking meter violation is a city thing. You get a ticket from the city, but the city doesn't control the parking meters. So how can a business give me a ticket that I have to go to court for, right?
Yeah.
True.
So it don't make no sense. I think this
hard
like,
times.
If the city was smart, they should have just been like, we've passed an ordinance that you can no longer charge anyone for parking, and just screw that company out of all their income. Like, haha, like no one has to pay for parking ever again.
Money's all
like,
mine.
why is the city allowing some other company to get all the income from parking, and then also we have to like comply to this? It's a city law that we have to comply to, being enforced by non-city employees.
Yeah, that's absurd.
So it's ridiculous. Anyway, where was I? Documents sufficient to show any private gifts in excess of $100 given to you for legal fees or anything related to the lawsuit from any person located within the state of New York or that has their official residence within the state of New York. Documents sufficient to identify Hypnotic, including whether Hypnotic has a New York address. We take this opportunity to note that portions of such information, like the actual home address, as opposed to the state of residence, can be designated confidential. So what they're saying here is essentially, you could just tell us that he lives in New York. You don't have to give us the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fake street, right? Which, everyone was worried that they were going to be fucking doxing and his information was going to get out. They're basically saying we don't need the information. We just need the, if he lives in New York, that's it, right?
That's all they need. Business transaction in New York. That's it.
I know this is super interesting to me and probably boring the shit out of everyone else, right?
Well,
it says documents to identify Toasty, same stuff. Documents for Rev says Desu, same stuff. All documents concerning communications with both Hypnotic, Toasty, and Rev concerning relevant topics. All documents concerning communications with any content creator, streamer, or commentator.
There it is.
That lives within the geographic confines of the state of New York concerning the relevant topics. I would laugh my ass off if fucking Smash and Sturgis had DMs. Hey, bud, I hate that Alyssa bitch too, bud.
Keep in mind, he's in Florida right now, but he was in New York before.
Yeah.
It says, all documents concerning any revenue sharing agreements between you and any New York-based content creators. So if he went on anyone's show and they were like, hey, we'll give you a cut of the super chats or we'll give you $50 for showing up or whatever, just got to tell him. It says documents concerning any travel by you to New York for personal or business purposes. And then it says documents concerning any podcast, YouTube channels, TikTok videos, Facebook, Instagram Reels, or similar online services on which you appeared, which were done with any person, whether the host of the service or not, within the geographic confines of the state of New York. And then documents concerning any other content creator who may or may not be a New York resident. All right. And so that was the supplemental request. And now the last document we're going to go over is Smash's responses to those requests.
Oh boy.
So I think the only one that he answered was that he gave him the code, right? So the response to concerning ownership says defendant objects to this request on the ground that is not calculated to lead to discovery. So Smash doesn't want to give them documents showing that he owns and manages his own website. And he doesn't want them to know when he set it up. See, this again.
This is all sus behavior.
It is sus behavior because they're just what they're asking for is basically if SmashJT set up his website and say he paid Autoy Fanboy $100 to help him because I'm not good at doing websites. Hey Autoy, can you do this website for me? I'll give you $100, right? That's all they want to know. And so it should be a very simple here's all the documents showing that Smash is the sole owner, right? Because that's what they want. They want to know that Smash is the sole owner and he doesn't have maybe a New York partner that runs the website with him, right? So just go here's all the documents showing I'm the sole owner. No one was paid to help me set up the website. No one was paid to help me maintain the website. No, I don't have any paid staff working on the website. This is all me, right? That's it. I don't understand how that's... Yeah, it's simple. I mean, give Smash... if the information isn't damning, and if it isn't a concern, privacy matter, right? Giving them the information is just going to mean that they have more fucking documents to look over, right? Like, here you go, Alyssa, waste another hour of your life reading documents that say I own the website. Smash bought a slice of $1 pizza in New York. It all comes crashing down. Look, he did business in New York. He had a pizza party in New York for his family. So the website, they gave him the website code. And the documents concerning the purchase are used by location with the server logs. He says server logs, blah, blah, blah. His response, we don't possess nor control custody of any of those documents. Smash doesn't have any information. Again, this is where I'm calling bullshit, right? They want to know people that sold, shipping addresses to the state of New York. Smash, you're telling me that the site that you use that sends out things do not have any sort of documents for where the things are going, right? Come on. They want the Discord server logs. He says they don't have those. They don't have any logs. They don't know anybody's IPs from using the Discord server. Bank statements about payments from New York residents. He objects to the request on the ground that it is not calculated to lead to discoverable, admissible evidence. Without waiver, these objections, defendant states that he neither possesses nor controls custody of these documents. Well, why would you object? If you said you don't control these documents, why did you start off by saying, I object to you getting these documents, but also I don't have them, right?
That's again, more sus behavior.
Documents with the taxes in New York. He objects that it's not going to lead to discovery. Without waiver, defendant states no such documents exist. Again, why not just have that? Why don't you say, hey, without waiver, there's no documents, right? If I go, hey, let me see all your hotel statements, because I think that you're sleeping with my wife, Octoy. I think you and my wife have run off together. I'd like to see all your hotel reservations. And you go, I object, because you seeing my hotel reservations are not going to lead you to find out whether or not I'm sleeping with your wife. But also, I've never even went to a hotel. I go, well, then why did you say the first thing, right? Yeah. Like you don't need the first thing. If there's no documents, it should have just been defendant states no such documents exist. More taxes. Defendants objects on the request that is not calculated to lead to discovery. And without waiver, he doesn't possess these or control any of these documents. Documents concerning communications with Kotaku. Defendant objects to this request on the grounds that it is not calculated to lead to discovery. Without waiver, defendant states he neither possesses nor controls custody of any responsive documents. Smash, you little scamp. DJ, they said, hey, I would like all your communications with Kotaku. SmashJT said, I don't actually have any of those. I don't possess those documents. Right? What didn't he say though?
That he gathered information, all the employees and shit. I remember that part of the
No. In his response, he said that he doesn't have access to them, right? He neither possesses nor controls custody of any responsive documents.
Oh, that's hibbity-jibbity.
Well, over here, he said, defendant states no such documents exist in regards to tax documents.
Right.
In regards to communications with Kotaku, where's the no such documents exist?
Yeah, where's...
Hmm.
Huh. So, I mean, I'm not a legal expert by no means, but to me, this definitely seems like SmashJT has communicated with Kotaku
Yep.
in some manner. Right? Because again, if there was no documents, he would just say, no such documents exist. Right?
Right. Yeah.
So clearly, documents exist, which means one of the things she's suing about is the fact that she lost her job at Kotaku because of SmashJT's shenanigans. So if there are documents between Smash and Kotaku in which Smash is making some sort of threat or arrangement or trying to get her fired,
he was doing that cancel campaign. Remember, like
Yeah.
going after people, going after all these employees. That's what this is.
says all documents concerning your source of income, including income from the state of New York. His response is chef's kiss. Defendant objects to this request on the ground it is not calculated to lead to discovery of admissible evidence as concerns discoverable information bearing on personal jurisdiction, and on the ground that the phrase income from the state of New York is vague and ambiguous. Autoy.
Yeah.
Are you confused by the words income from the state of New York?
No.
So you understand that means not there's like not a guy named state of New York. Like the state of New York isn't like a person that exists that could give him money.
Mr. New
right?
York.
You
Right.
like, as a normal person, you understand what that means, right? Like
Yes. I realize that is not.
Because he's trying to make it so, well, it's ambiguous. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by from the state of New York. Like,
yeah, am I in a New York state of mind? I don't know. It is.
So this is the contracts with the internet service providers. Defendant objects to this request on the ground is not calculated, blah, blah, blah. Without waiver of these objections, defendant states that he neither possesses nor controls custody of any responsive documents. And he represents that any user agreement between him and such services are the standard online agreement accessible to any person. Okay, this is a very terrible fucking response. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why.
All right.
They said they want any documents, contracts with anyone, any social media platforms. Basically, they want to know all the different social media platforms he uses, right?
Yeah.
He's saying, well, you have anyone can go to like Discord and see what their terms of service are, Telegram, Gab, blah blah blah, right? Okay, that's true, but we don't know if you are using them, right? Like,
right.
Let's say Telegram is based in New York, and they say, hey, if you get sued for anything you say on Telegram, you have to have it in New York, right? Well, that would be a smoking gun. But until they know that Smash uses Telegram, it doesn't matter, right? That's why they're specifically asking for his agreements with these companies, right?
Yeah.
And Smash is just like, well, anyone could access those the user agreements for those platforms. Like, no, you have to. They want specifically yours. They want to know, what do you use? What online user agreements have you agreed to, right? Now, if he just listed and said, hey, SmashJT only uses XYZ and their online user agreements can be found, that would be a fine response. But just to go, all those user agreements are online, figure it out. It's like, well, what do you use? Like, now we have to go and look at every website to see if you use it.
Yep.
This is the judge might be upset because this is like you're being unhelpful, right? Like,
yes. This is all obstruction of justice. Sorrow is saying all these culture war grifters are like they all speak in hibbity jibbity. Smash's own lawyer runs around these circles too. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if his lawyer is telling him be a complete dickhead as much as you want. Like, that would be crazy.
He wants ambiguity where there is none.
Yeah.
Is the hibbity jibbity spreading?
It is, yeah.
All right. It says the documents reflecting any subscriptions on any platforms by another to your content, including, not limited. He says, again, he objects, not going to lead to any information that's pertinent. Defendant states that he neither possesses nor controls custody of any responsive documents. And he represents that any user agreements between him and such services are the standard online agreement. Again, Smash. That's not even answering the question. The question is other people to your content, right? So if you have, you're using Wix, and Wix's user agreement is X. So you go, oh, look, these are the people that have signed the user agreement to use my website, right? And it says YouTube, including super chats. These are the people that sent me super chats. It says, to the extent not covered, all information concerning super chats, he says, defendant objects to this request on the ground that is blah, 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 not going to lead to any information. And it is excessively broad and unduly burdensome. It's not broad. It's not broad at all. I mean, they just want to know your super chats. It's not asking. It's not like, hey, any money coming in, just your super chats. It's a very narrow focus, right? I think it's almost laserly focused on a very specific thing, super chats. Now, being burdensome, yeah, that could be, because again, it's hard to know who's from New York. But here's the thing, right? And again, when we talk about like being helpful and not helpful and trying to facilitate things, right? It is quite possible that Hypnotic, for example, has sent super chats to Smash, right? We know that Hypnotic lives in New York. Yeah. So Smash knows Hypnotic lives in New York. So it would be real easy for Smash to go, we don't have information on everybody, but here are the people we know that live within New York that have sent super chats, right?
So far, they said Hypnotic, Rebs has Desu, and another person.
Toasty with the mosty, like Toasty has sent me super chats. Yep. He lives in New York. Hypnotic lives in New York. These people have sent me super chats. And then you go, well, the other stuff we can't figure out. It's got to be based on some other things, blah, 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 right? Same thing with the donors to his Give, Send, Go. He objects. It's not going to lead to any personal jurisdiction. And he says that he doesn't even have that information. He has no idea. Again, this is the same thing. Like, there are certain people that are well-known entities that Like, I'm from Chicago. I've said that so many times. I think everybody knows, right? If I gave money to Smash's Give, Send, Go, you can 100% go, I know at least one guy from Chicago gave me money, and it was Tony, right? Mm-hmm. So it might be burdensome to figure out where everybody lives, but there has to be certain specific people that hey, I know that guy lives in New York. I know this lady lives outside of New York, right? Let me see. How is Give, Send, Go even set up? I love that SmashJT has a article on SmashJT's website talking about SmashJT's Give, Send, Go.
This is some JDA level shit.
Yeah. So his goal right now is $200,000, and he's only raised $74,000. So, wow! Some guy named Max Resist has given $2,000. Actually, he's given another 100. So at least 2,100 came from someone named Max Resist.
The grift
Not
is
Max
strong.
Cool.
Not Max Cool.
A different Max.
Jiang Wu. No bullshit.
Ooh.
Someone named Jiang Wu gave $20 USD. Orisa cannot be allowed to be Clyde Bully, trying to silence
Wait a minute.
so she can and her developer and her journal cronies can continue to manipulate the gamer industry. This is about legitimacy in gaming. They them are ruining the franchises we love.
And it's his language, though. That is his verbiage.
Use it as a
Coincidence
soapbox
is
to
insane.
preach their ideology and cash out heavily while doing so. And keep Alyssa out of our gaming. I love how
I'm
they're
not trying to have a sex with her.
Yeah. He's definitely not a sim. I love how these comments on his Give Send Go are like, fuck Alyssa and all these woke people. And it's like, for ruining gaming. And like, she's not suing him
She's barely done
over
anything with
gaming.
gaming.
She's suing
Today?
him for like defamation. Like, you guys are giving him money and you don't even know why. Right?
Yeah. This is the grift again.
But yeah, on this end, on the front end at least, it doesn't show anything. But Notch is given $5,000. So we got $5,000 from Notch. Hypnotic gave $2,000. So right there, Hypnotic.
Oh,
He says, "Do me a favor, take this donation and make sure you tell Ron Coleman I said to bury this puta legally. The stage has been set." So Hypnotic, $2,000 to your Give Send Go, lives in New York. I don't know. I was able to find that out in 30 seconds. That took me all of 30 seconds of investigative journalism. Could you imagine what I could find out if I had access to the back end like Smash does?
oh yeah.
Side Scrollers Podcast gave him $1,337.
There's your answer, Malik. There's your answer. The Real Game Awards, Stuttering Craig.
And then Alec Baldwin's finger gave $69.69. So I don't know. A lot of anonymous $1,000 donations. So, Art Vandelay gave $500. Damn.
No, he's an architect. He can afford it.
Always an importer exporter on top of being an architect. No. You can give $1,000, but not a free Game Awards. Thanks, Craig.
We will win, bud. Subjugates is right. He's one of the biggest nut huggers of.
Is he? I had no idea. I thought that was just somebody being funny. Donate, Tony. Help a brother out. Where does Notch live? Is he like in Sweden or something? Is he like foreigner?
Notch?
Yeah.
The Minecraft guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sweden.
So right here, number 37 is exactly what I just discussed. Documents sufficient to show any private gifts in excess of 100 to your legal fees. Defendant objects to this request on the ground that it is not calculated to lead to discoverable information. Smash, I object. I object to your objection. I think that it is very likely that somebody from New York might have given you over $100 privately, right? Like, hey, I don't want Give Send Go to get any of these fees.
On, 100%. Yeah.
Right? Or I don't want YouTube to take any of this money, so here I'm going to give it to you directly.
I'll help you out, brother.
So they wanted to identify Hypnotic, whether he lives in New York. And they said, Well, we object because we don't think that this is going to have any bearing on jurisdiction. Yeah, I don't think that flies. Without waiver of these objections, defendant states that he neither possesses nor controls custody of any responsive documents. I don't know. You don't want to give up your communications with Hypnotic. You don't want to give up any of your information regarding where you sent items and stuff. I think it's probable, very likely, that you know that he lives in New York and you have written communications that prove that Hypnotic does live in New York, right?
That's why he's out there dodging.
Yeah. He's doing the same thing with Toasty and the same thing with Rev says Desu. What the fuck does Desu mean and why is Rev saying it?
Yeah.
This was one of those weird, weeb phrases. And I still don't know what it means. It's a guy whose avatar is a chick. It's like another Cynthia.
It says Desu, Japanese, the polite form of the Japanese copula, often translated as to be.
What the fuck?
Rev says to be.
Rev says it is. But it is.
Rev is a lolicon. Well, that's disgusting.
Yep. It tracks.
Of course, he says he doesn't have any of the documents on all three of those. And he doesn't have any documents on anyone else. He says all documents concerning communications with Hypnotic relevant to the topics. Smash, you're telling me that you don't have access to your own DMs with Hypnotic or your do they call them DMs on Discord? Your Discord messages with Hypnotic? All that's just gone?
Direct messages, yeah. Works.
He's saying he doesn't have that for Hypnotic, for Toasty, or for Rev, and no one else.
Come on. Those are all his compadres.
Smash has none of his DMs. He has no access to any form of any communications. Apparently, Smash has auto deleter on everything, so just as soon as he sends a message, he just deletes it.
He's like TMNs,
Yeah.
deleting his DMs. That'd be like if they asked you if you have DMs with us, me and Atoy, like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, again, the judge is going to look at that and go, really? You don't have any... you're not even saying they don't exist. You're just telling me that you don't have a way to get them to me, to get them to Alyssa? Come on.
Ouija board communications. Do a seance, you see. That's how we do it.
They want to know about the revenue sharing agreement. He says, well, it's not going to lead to any jurisdiction, but also they don't exist. Again, like either Ron Coleman is just copy pasting without paying attention to what he's doing, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Ron Coleman is out there telling Smash to be a complete asshole.
Because you should just been like, without waiver of these objections, defendant states no such documents exist, right? He didn't make any agreements. He's never made any agreements about sharing. But I would. Oh, these guys are so fucking retarded, right? I can almost guarantee that if this does exist, like if Smash did have an agreement where like, hey, they're gonna give him like 10% of super chats or something. I know these guys are stupid enough to like when Smash came out, like, hey, don't forget, guys, you give super chats tonight. 5% is going to SmashJT for his legal fight, or 10%. We're going to give SmashJT 50% of the super chat, right? Because
That's
if
what
it
they're
happens,
looking for. Yeah,
that's probably there, and they probably already have this information. So here's one of the things, right? When I was going to become a lawyer, one of the things they teach you very early is if you're going to be a lawyer, if you're going to do some lawyering, right? You never ask a question you don't already know the answer to, okay?
Huh.
When you question a witness, you should never question a witness if you don't already know what the answer is, right? Like if I say, hey, TJ, where were you on the night of December 13th at 7:00 CST, right? Now, if I don't know the answer to that, and you might say, well, I was at Bill's house. I go, fuck, well, that throws off my whole line of questioning, right? Like, and then I cannot bust you. But if I already know the answer, and you go, oh, I was at Bill's house, I go, well, explain this photograph of you outside the defendant's apartment holding a gun, right? And now you've lied on the witness stand, right?
Yeah.
We busted you. We got you. We fucking matlocked you. You've been matlocked. And so I think that's what they're doing here. I think they're matlocking him, where he's going, well, no, there's no documents exist. And they're going to pull up the video and go, well, there's you talking about it on stream, right?
They probably have all of the receipts already. Just like how you searched, that's all you need.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're going to pull up some of this stuff and go, well, our preliminary search has revealed X, Y, and Z. Clearly, SmashJT could have provided more information. He's withholding information. And so, the judge might view that unfavorably in Smash's case. Again, they want to know if he was in New York from January to present day. And he just says, that's not going to lead to jurisdiction. So I object on those grounds. Not that again, if he hasn't been to New York, just say I have never been to New York, right? Within that time frame that you're asking, I have not been to New York. But apparently, I guess he has.
Probably.
He must, right? Because he's not saying that he didn't say no such documents exist, right?
Right. Yeah.
So there's a good chance that maybe he went out to New York to maybe meet up with Hypnotic and those guys to have a little celebratory dinner celebrating the great win they're going to have over Alyssa Mercante, right?
Yeah. Go out for steaks.
The win.
I mean, there's conventions and stuff in New York. It's not out of the ordinary or not out of the realm of possibility that Smash went there to a convention and then met up with Hypnotic afterward. Had a steak dinner, then Hypnotic made him pay for it. And then he's been resenting him the whole time, right?
He was on Twitter bragging that he was in another gaming convention, so you never know.
They want any podcast, YouTube channels that he's been on, whether the host of the service or not, within the geographic confines of New York. Again, he's saying, I don't think any of that's relevant. I'm not going to give you any of that information because I just don't think that it's relevant. Documents about content creators who may be in New York. And again, he's saying, I don't think that's relevant. The case, Smash, your lawyer's retarded. The argument is you appeared on a podcast hosted by a New York YouTuber. Therefore, we feel that you have business in New York. And they're asking for a list of those people that were in New York that you've been on their podcast. And you're going, I don't think that's relevant. They're going, that's our whole argument. What do you mean it's not relevant? That's our argument. You have to, we need that information so we can then present it to the judge and go, look, he's been on 12 podcasts that, come from New York. Those people in New York have made money off of Smash's appearance on that podcast. We're considering that as business. You have to rule on it, Judge. Right? Again, you're withholding information. And I think the judge is going to look negatively on that, to be quite honest. Because a lot of this, again, you want to fast track this as much as possible, and you want to make things as easy for the court, right? And when you do things like this, when you're just no, I'm just not going to, I don't feel like I should give you that information. The court's going to be like, why? What harm? If you say, hey, this isn't relevant, right? If you go, hey, Tony, can you give me a list of all the YouTube channels you've been on with Amish hosts? And I go, I don't think that's relevant. And the judge goes, well, maybe it is. And then it turns out, I go, okay, so I was on JJ's channel. And the judge goes, that's it? You held up court for 3 months because you didn't want to tell me that you were on JJ's stream, right? The judge's not gonna be happy with it. All he had to say was, "Here's a list, right? Fucking Hypnotic, Toasty, whoever it is, right? 6 or 7 people. It's probably not. It's not a huge list. I imagine it's not this like fucking overwhelming list of people that are New York-based content creators for YouTube or whatever that he's been on their channel. Just be like, here's the 6 people. I don't think that qualify."